Spring is starting to show off. Little pops of color are blooming everywhere, and it's such a welcome sight. With Easter just a few days away and spring in full swing, I thought I'd share my Sunday video a little earlier this week. I hope you enjoy it and that it adds a little seasonal joy to your day. A few viewers have reached out to ask me to share my Easter tablescape. I'm using my Limoges porcelain for the first time, and I am so excited. I'm gonna add a vintage tablecloth and some crystal knife rests and break out the silver and really have a fun time with it. So I thought you might like to come along and see my dining room table dress rehearsal. Now this isn't gonna be how I leave it for Easter because the cats will get all over everything. But I figured it would be fun to set it up so I can see what it looks like. I can also figure out if there's anything that I'm missing. And then when the day comes, I can just sit back and enjoy and know that all of the design decisions have already been made and hopefully enjoy some really good food as well. So whether you celebrate Easter or you just enjoy the spring, or maybe you just like a good vintage tablescape, this video is for you. We're going to get started by moving this cat. And that's going to allow me to take up this tablecloth that is ready for a change for the spring. Ironing might be my least favorite part of the process, but it's a necessary evil if I'm going to make this vintage tablecloth look its very best. I've already put in some extra leaves into the dining room table so we can comfortably seat 8, and that also gives us some spare room in case any unexpected guests drop by. It's always good to be prepared for another plate. It's been a long time since I've shined this silver, and I think Easter is the perfect occasion for making sure it's looking its best. I know some people love tarnished silver, but I really enjoy the brightness of highly polished silver. So let's get to it. This is going to be a big job. And now the part I've most been looking forward to, going to the Limoges cabinet and starting to pick out the pieces that I'm going to use. I have never used any of these before, so I'm just trying to figure out how everything will work together nicely. I like a good mix and match, but I also want to have an overall cohesive look. So let's see how I do. I'm embarrassed to admit that I don't remember if I washed each and every piece of china when I originally brought it home. And in any case, it's been sitting in the china cabinet for about a year. better safe than sorry. Let's make sure everything is super clean. The dishes are done and ready to set the table. And it looks like Iris is here to be my assistant. Or she's here to break everything. Let's hope it's the former and not the latter. They really shine. Can you see it? Such a difference. I think Iris is ready for a little bit of attention. She's been very good while I've been busy around the house. Things have become much more romantic. I think she wants a little snuggle, and then we'll carry on with our Easter preparations. And now Indy's having a turn. I'm going to pull him off the table, although first I'm going to appreciate how stately he looks. He makes a lovely centerpiece, don't you think? All right, now for the good part. Let's set this table and see how everything comes together. I just realized I'm out of dinner napkins and I don't feel like using cloth ones. It's just one more thing to deal with. So I think I'm just going to fold these for now to get a sense of how everything will look. But when it comes to the actual event, I'll make sure I trade up. Don't worry. Doesn't the silver look so pretty? It's absolutely gleaming. I love the way it looks next to all of the Limoges. It was worth the effort. Just put the cats away in the sunroom so we don't have any catastrophes with what I'm about to do. Here is the completed Easter table. Well, pretty close to how it will look on Easter Day. So I know now I need to get dinner napkins and I'll fold them in a more fancy way, but I wanted to at least show you how everything would look. I'm going to use these soup bowls for salad bowls because I don't like salad plates. These will be the dessert plates and I won't keep them here. I'll remove them when everybody comes. And here's the dinner plate. So you can see I'm mixing and matching my patterns, which is how I like it. I have this beautiful lace vintage tablecloth that I absolutely love. I got this at an estate sale last summer. And I have lots of different kinds of Limoges patterns happening, but they all have some form of pink flower. And some of them have purple flowers as well. I have the new candelabra, which looks so pretty now that it has 3 candles. Of course, I can't light these if the cats are around because last time I did that, Indy set his tail on fire. So we can't have that. This is a beautiful lead crystal compote that I just put this wreath in for some Easter color. I would love to have flowers, but we know what will happen if I have flowers. And I have the salt cellars. I still don't have spoons. That's on the list of things to hunt for. And I have knife rests. And I think the silverware looks beautiful now that it's been polished, which I hadn't done in a dog's age. So this was the set that was my mother's. And then when I got married long ago, I added to it. And so now it's pretty complete. We don't have every imaginable piece, but we have what we need. So this is the table. I hope you enjoyed getting ready for Easter with me. Of course, because I have crazy cats, I'm actually going to put all of this away until Easter. Otherwise, it will have cat fur in it and goodness knows what else, and that's disgusting. But this is what it will look like, and I certainly hope you enjoyed seeing it. I wish you and your family a happy Easter if you celebrate, and if you don't, I hope you have a lovely Sunday. It's the next day and we're headed out for a quick thrift. I'm hoping I can find some kind of glass or crystal bowl for the salad. Let's see what we can find. This desk is so amazing. I wish I had a place for it in my house. Granted, it needs a lot of attention, but it's only $15.99. Somebody with some pretty basic refinishing skills and maybe some carpentry skills could definitely give this a new lease on life. This little Eastlake chair is also adorable. The reupholstery job is not fabulous. You can see how loose and lumpy it is. And there's some stains, but again, potential. $10.99 for this beautiful chair. And there's such a nice brass standing lamp right next to it. We're off to a good start. And it looks like the luck continues because I found a Johnson Brothers Friendly Village plate. And this is a pattern I don't see very often. So it's a nice find at $4.99. I'm not going to buy it, but it's fun just to see it. Pattern is so interesting. I don't think I've seen it before. This was made in Japan and it's supposed to depict New England scenes. It is kind of charming. $29.99 for this whole set doesn't seem like a terrible price, but I'm not going to pick it up. It's just fun to check it out. But what do I see on this shelf below? I don't think I've ever found Port Marion at Savers before. This is a first. And they're charging $9.99 for 4 pieces, which is a really good price. So I'm just gonna flip them over and see if they were made in England. Yep, made in England. Let's just check them all. I think these are gonna come home with me and I'm excited to have found them. This is a really sweet cup and saucer. This was made by Duchess. Not familiar with that manufacturer. This is the aisle where I think I'm gonna find my bowl. It needs to be really nice and big, and I'm thinking that a punch bowl might do just the trick. But I'm keeping an open mind. Here's a set of punch bowls, and there's a set of punch bowls. And there's some other bowls that are pretty, but not quite big enough. That's a really pretty one, but definitely not big enough. And lots and lots of choices here. I'm seeing so far 4 sets of punch bowls, and this looks like cut glass. Oh my gosh, this is really super sharp and beautiful and only $6.99. But a lot of times the teeth on these are chipped, so I don't want to buy it if it's damaged. Let's take a good look. I definitely see some problems with the teeth. Definitely some chips here. So reluctantly, I'm gonna put this back. There's also some pretty silver pieces, silver plated pieces. This could be cute for like a sugar and creamer tray, or even to put salt and pepper on. I'm thinking about it. I like this bowl a lot. Again, it's a punch set. $1.99 doesn't seem right. I think this is the price, $6.99. This one's really good, but there's another one that I'm thinking about as well. Let me show you that. Check out the groovy image on this. Okay, just pulled this down, and now I'm taking all of the pieces out so I can get a good look at the bowl. And there's a platter that comes with it that is gorgeous. I love that. So let's see the bowl now. We've got some ladles. Here it is. Yep, this is a beauty. It's so heavy. It seems really well made. I think it will look nice on my dining room table. What do you think? Do you like this? Do you think this is a good choice? There's the other candidate. Okay, so I put them side by side so I can really compare, and I do like them both. Obviously, the one on the right is more simple, the one on the left is more ornate, but I think ornate is what I'm going for. So this one is $9.99, and for all of the pieces, including the platter, I think that's an outstanding price. We have a winner. This platter is gorgeous. It's $14.99, which is not cheap, but this is Limoges. And if I brought this home to sell on eBay, Eric, the shipping department, would not be happy. This is a really sweet mini platter, and this is also Limoges, and it's really tempting me, but I don't want to pay $9.99 for it, so it's going back. Pillows are kind of pretty, but they have this sort of inexpensive feel to them. So I think I'm going to leave these behind. This one is fabulous. It looks like a collection of antiquarian books. It's $2.99. This guy is good. This lamp is so cute. I really dislike the shade, but the base is very pretty if you had the right spot for it. And this one could look so pretty in my dressing room. It's just the right colors, although I don't need another lamp in my life, and this one is $9.99. It's also made in China, so I'm gonna leave it here. Check out the laundry basket. This guy is exactly the sort of thing I've been looking for as I gradually switch out my plastic bins for nicer ones. This is going in the cart. What do I see up here? I see a horse and a dog, and this is a hunting pillow. This is in fantastic shape. only $2.99. I'm making sure there's no stains or flaws, but it looks good. This little wooden box is so cute. I just picked up a bigger version of this. $5.99 is more than I want to pay, but I like it. There's a lot of artwork here today, but nothing that needs to come home with me. I'm just taking a quick look to make sure I don't miss anything good. If I had need of a utensil holder in my life, this one would probably tempt me. It was made in Italy. It's priced a little too much for me to resell it, but I do like the look of it. Well, I did very well, and we're gonna head out to the car so I can put everything away. And I think there might be one more quick stop before we hit home. That was a quick thrifting trip, but I got everything I needed, including my salad bowl. So obviously, as you saw from the footage, what I picked up was a whole punch bowl set with all of these glasses that are actually really beautiful. I forget who makes this, Prescott Entertainment Group. This, I think, was quite the set in its day. And it even has 2 ladles in case I have people over who are like extra thirsty and impatient. So good to know. I really don't envision myself ever using this for punch, but I guess it's nice to have options, right? So my thinking was, as I shared before, a punch bowl would give me an option for any china setting that I use. So whatever service, if I use my brown and white transferware, it will go. If I use the Limoges, it will go. If I use my grandmother's Old English set, it will go. I don't need to use it for Port Merion because I have big Port Merion bowls that are great for salad. This also had this fabulous platter. I got an awful lot for $9.99. I mean, it's really dirty, but I'm sure I can get some use out of that. So here it is. I think it's gonna work out just fine. And I was so confident that I would find something because I know when I go thrifting, I always see punch bowl sets. People really don't buy them, at least not that I've seen. So what a great way to reuse something and make it efficient and effective again. So great salad bowl, I think. That's gonna be a beauty. So I'll wash this up and this will be on my Easter table. I just washed the bowl and I'm just putting it here on the table so you get a sense of what it will be like. I think it's gonna look beautiful. I'm so glad I found something vintage. I mean, I know I could have popped over to Target. Target has so many beautiful things. I'm sure I could have gotten a salad bowl in a jiffy, but I think it's so much more interesting to reuse something old. And this was a good find. This fabulous needlepoint pillow that looks like old library books. So I'm pretty sure I'm keeping this. $2.99, I think, is a book collector. It's only right that I keep it. I found this awesome hunting pillow. This is also such a good one. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'll keep this or sell it. I think, oh, I know where this, forget it. I know exactly where this is going. I'll show you in a minute. And I grabbed this very tarnished little tray because I thought this could be possibly good for putting a sugar and creamer on. Not sure, but for $3.99, I was willing to take a chance on it. I grabbed just a generic white curtain. It is nothing special. This is for a project I'm working on in the laundry room that I'll show you another time. This pillow is going right here in the study on my chair. This study is needing some decluttering and I'll get to it, but for right now, I think that's perfect. Unfortunately, this area is still under construction, although it's really coming along. Eric has put the first coat of paint in the closet. So it's looking so much better. The floor is a mess, but he'll get there. And I think he's gonna give it one more coat of paint. He'll put the door back on the cupboard, and then, I don't know, he's gonna do something to the floor. Almost there, and then once the closet is done, this mess can go away, and then we've gotta finish up this space. But anyway, I have hunting pictures. They're all crooked now from all of the banging and commotion happening, but I have this whole grouping of hunting pictures in here that of course I'll straighten out. We'll paint these walls. We're gonna add a chair rail and some other moldings. It's gonna look really nice. And I think on this chair, I'll put this pillow to continue the theme. I really like it. What a fun find. I was absolutely shocked to find this little stack of Port Marion. That was so unexpected. $9.99 for 4 pieces is a phenomenal price. I could not do better at like Home Goods. So even though I don't really need more small Port Marion plates, there's just no way I was gonna leave these behind. So these are going in the dishwasher momentarily. And then my last pickup was this nice big laundry basket. And I have been looking to transition from plastic to wicker. And I like the dark wicker especially because I think it just looks older. This could use a clean, and the other two that I have also need to be cleaned. I'm just waiting for a good day when I can set them out in the sun after I wash them, and it's just been kind of overcast and weather has not really been permitting. It's also been so blustery outside that I think my baskets would blow halfway across the world before I even knew they were gone. So yeah, really quick thrift trip. Short little, small little haul, but I like what I found. I'm excited. And the best part is, now I can reward myself with a little Starbucks. Cheers. Right now, this laundry basket will go with the others. They all need to be washed, as I said, washed and then dried in the sun on a day that the weather is permitting. But these are gonna be so cute. I'm wanting to put some kind of arrangement into this really pretty planter that goes in the dining room, and I'm using it just for sort of my spring and summer decor. Miss Iris is my assistant for the day. I have this arrangement that I made last year, and I like it, but I feel like it overwhelms this beautiful planter. So I'm gonna deconstruct this and use some of this foliage in the other planter, and that way too, I'm not just buying more things all the time, I'm reusing what I have. And that's part of the fun of faux florals and greenery, is that you can change it up when you want to. So let's see what we can do here. Oh my goodness, I've got another friend. We might have to do a cat extraction. We'll see how it goes. What do you guys think? Are you gonna behave yourselves, or do I have to do a cat extraction? No, maybe they'll be okay. Oh, now you can see the planter better. This was the back side, so I was worried that this wasn't filled in because you didn't see it against the wall. But this planter is gorgeous, and I feel like all of this is totally overwhelming. So let's change it up. Here's the finished result. I know it's hard to tell with the backlighting, but I think this planter looks really pretty. I think the ivy gives a nice summery look, a little bit of foliage, and it makes for a nice change as the weather gets warmer and we move from spring, and eventually we'll even get to summer. Right now I'm sitting in our sunroom. Eric and I sometimes call this the cat room because when we first brought Indy and Iris home and they were so tiny, we kept them in this room until we felt like they were big enough to be able to deal with the dogs if their interactions went awry. We had some trouble right from the start because the cats were incredibly obsessed with the dogs and the dogs did not want to make friends with the cats. And they were just so itty bitty. We wanted to make sure they could defend themselves before everybody was together. So we would do what we would call supervised visits. We did that for a few weeks where we put the dogs behind gates and let the cats out under close supervision. Iris always immediately wanted to practically jump into Wilson's mouth. She loved him so much. And Wilson was terrified of her. He's still not her biggest fan. So, when you introduce new animals, you have to be really careful. And fortunately, this room is nice and big and it has a door, so we could keep the little ones safe until they were ready to be out in the wider world of Worthington home. So I thought that was a great segue to answer a question that I've had a few times from viewers. I thought it was a really fun question. And actually it had sort of two parts regarding the cats. One person asked me if the cats scratch up the furniture and if I worry about that. And another person asked if the cats scratch up some of the textiles. You may have noticed if you're a regular viewer that I sometimes hang quilts over stair railings or rugs or other things. I have textiles kind of all around. I have some very nice throw pillows, and they wanted to know if the cats do damage on them. And the answer is no. No, they're actually really good about scratching. And I'm so glad I had the question because it really made me appreciate about that about the cats. I get frustrated with them because they're prone to knocking things off counters and tables. Iris especially. Indy is really not that bad. But the good news is even though they do that, they're not big scratchers in that way. So there's only two areas that they do scratch, and that is the sectional sofa that I'm sitting on now in the sunroom. I'll show you how this has kind of progressed. They scratch the corner of this sofa. And then there's an area in the master bedroom where they scratch a newel post that had already been scratched to bits by a previous cat. So it seems like where they have done damage, they've just continued the damage that was already there. They have scratched no new spots. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I realize that I am absolutely tempting fate to cause my cats to scratch something else. But no, they've been really good in that regard. They have a little scratch post tower that is the exact same one they had when they were little kitties, still with their mama cat, because I wanted them to have some similar things that would make them feel like they were still at home. And they love this thing, and they do scratch it to bits. Once in a while, I've gotten those they're kind of cardboard scratching things. You can get them at like Home Goods really inexpensively. They do enjoy scratching those up too. And Eric and I have talked a lot about building a whole scratch post system on the second floor that would give them the opportunity to actually climb up it and then kind of run up high along the stairwell so they get some height. Indy really likes to climb, so we thought it would be really fun for him to have some kind of system for doing that. That's on the list. It's not the biggest priority, but it would be a fun project if we can get some time for it. So let me show you what they've scratched. You can see that we have a lot of scratching damage here on the edge of the sofa, but this is the only place where scratching has really happened on the sofa. And it was already scratched by actually one cat that we had before. So Indy and Iris do scratch it here, but I think they do it because they felt like it was okay. It was already in progress. So they've just kind of continued the mayhem. And we're not really that upset about it because this is just the sunroom. This is meant to be a hard used room, and our plan is to slip cover this someday. So it's all good. This newel post looks like it's been chewed on by angry dinosaurs. Or a beaver was going to use it to make a dam. I'm not sure, but this was done by one very small cat who just liked to go to town on this newel post. I've never had a cat do this ever, but I guess for some reason, this was very tempting for that particular little kitty. He was a cutie pie. His name was Junior, but boy, that guy had some claws on him. So Indy does sometimes scratch this, Iris a little bit less. But again, I think it's tempting because it was already in progress. So I think he figured, let's just keep going. I think once we replace this, which of course we need to, I don't think he'll do it anymore because I think he just likes that there's already so many interesting grooves and things in here that he just keeps going. So those are the only two damage areas that we get in terms of scratching in the house. Something like this, he does not even touch. Just the pieces I showed you. But of course, if you're gonna have animals in your house, you're not gonna have a perfect house. It's just incompatible. And I would rather have my furry friends than a perfect house any day. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me to see my vintage Easter tablescape. It was really fun to play around with it. I collect all of these different pieces on my travels at flea markets and estate sales and antique stores and all the places. So to see it all come together in a beautiful but also functional way is a lot of fun. Whatever you're doing this Sunday, I hope you have a fabulous day. If you like this video, please hit like, please subscribe if you haven't already, and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.